The Cunnilinguist. How to give and receive great oral sex. Top tips from both ends of the tongue. Foreword by Susan Harper, Ph.D. This refreshingly modern guide takes the business of giving and receiving pleasure seriously, but never takes itself too seriously. It's full of orgasm-inducing tips and techniques for both giver and receiver, presented with equal doses of good humor and practical, usable information. Research and the Heterosexual Orgasm Gap. Whoever you are, if you've picked up this book, then you already value and respect the power of Cunnilingus. Go you! But before we kick off, I want to share a couple of stats from a sizable 2017 orgasm frequency research study that identified and confirmed a significant orgasm gap between straight men and women. That's nothing new, you might say. True, but this particular study went beyond most previous research in that it examined sexual behaviors, gender, and sexual orientation, drawing some interesting conclusions and discussion points. Researchers from Chapman University, Indiana University, and the Kinsey Institute studied 52,000 Americans and found that 95% of straight men usually or always orgasm when sexually intimate with a partner, whilst the same is true for only 65% of straight women. Yep, that's a pretty big difference. But there's more. It found that 1. Lesbians have more orgasms than straight women. If your first thought was that perhaps those who have a clit are not capable of climaxing as frequently as those who have a penis, you could be forgiven. However, the study also found that 86% of lesbians usually or always orgasm. So yes, those of us with a clit can orgasm, and we can orgasm a lot. 2. Vaginal sex can reduce a woman's chance of orgasm. Whilst 65% of straight women reported orgasming usually or always when sexually intimate, the study also found that just 35% do so if the sole behavior is vaginal intercourse. Basically, if the only sex a woman indulges in is a bit of penile pokey-pokey, the likelihood of her having an orgasm is significantly reduced. But there's good news too. 3. Receiving oral sex can double a woman's chance of orgasm. The study showed that women who receive oral sex orgasm more frequently than women who do not. When compared to vaginal intercourse alone, a combination of deep kissing, clitoral stimulation, and receiving oral sex increased women's satisfaction levels from 35% to 77%. If vaginal sex was excluded, it rose even further to 80%. In every combination of activities, receiving oral sex was shown to increase orgasm frequency for straight women. So women can orgasm a lot, just not typically through vaginal intercourse alone. And receiving oral sex plays a big part in making it happen. And there's more. You may think those stats are pretty shocking. You may even dismiss them as being taken only from one study. However, there are many other studies that show similar results. Dr. Elizabeth Lloyd carried out an in-depth analysis of 32 pieces of research about the frequency of female orgasm during intercourse, and found that only 25% of women reliably experience orgasm solely from sexual intercourse. Just when you were thinking 35% was bad. Dr. Lloyd's analysis was published as a Harvard University Press book, The Case of the Female Orgasm. And don't think that this orgasm gap is an anatomical issue either, one that requires significant time or effort in order for those with female anatomy to climax. It isn't. During masturbation, there's actually little difference in the length of time it takes to orgasm between those with a clitoris and those with a penis. Kinsey tells us that women achieve orgasm in an average of 3 to 4 minutes, with 25% managing to knock it out in just 1 to 3. And alongside masturbation, I can personally attest to many 5-minute quickies with my partner that resulted in the big O, or 3. Unfortunately, I found no research on trans or intersex bodies. However, it is noted that any such study would be complex due to anatomical variety. Not all people who identify as women have vulvas, And not all people who identify as men have penises. We'll touch more on that later. Now you know some of the stats. Let's get moving. Learn how to fix that orgasm gap and improve the cunnilingus experience for everyone involved.